Hey, Orion here. I've been podcasting for over 4 years now. 4 years. I started a bit unsure and insecure, but I am so much better and I'm a different woman today. I learned and grew so much. I grew as a person and I grew as a podcast host. And I had the privilege of talking with incredible people I never even imagined I can even reach. But regardless of how famous or not famous my guest is, sometimes you have a special conversation. One that is so stellar, you remember it even 4 years later. Welcome to Stellar Conversations. This is one of my absolute favorite episodes, and it will light up your day.
Welcome to Stellar Life Podcast. Get inspired and live out loud. From love, freedom, and success to having it all. Here's your host, coach, speaker, and shining star, Orion.
Roger, you're looking good.
Hi, and welcome to another stellar episode. I'm your host, Orion. Today I have with me the absolutely exquisite Pamela Reaves. Pamela Reaves is an image consultant, a relationship expert, a published author, a certified professional coach, a columnist, professional speaker, developer and owner of a line of skincare products, creator of the annual Power of Love Gala, and the founder and CEO of NELLA. Hey, Pam.
Hey, Orion. It's good to be here with you.
So good to be here with you. I'm so happy to have you on the show. Welcome, welcome. Why don't you start with telling us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, my name is Pam Reaves. I am a published author, a relationship coach, and image consulting. I wear a lot of hats. I also own a skincare line called Essentially Good. It's my feeling, if you look good, you feel good. And if you feel good, you look good. So I'm one of those people that can help you do both. I think that we should be forever beautiful. And I am proud to say I'm 58 years old and I am still a diva.
You are so beautiful. I would never, ever imagine that you're 58. Seriously.
Yes, I am.
Wow. You look about 20 years younger. That's pretty amazing. Wow.
Well, anyone can do it if they work at it.
Yeah. And also, it's not only your stunning external appearance, it's also your vibe. Your vibe is so young.
And that makes the difference, Orion, because if the inside isn't beautiful, it will eventually tarnish the outside. So it has to be, and I always say I work from the inside out.
So we met at Speaking Empire Mastermind, how long? 3 months ago, was it?
That was in July, I think. So yeah, that was back in July.
Okay, cool. So, and the moment I saw you, I was amazed. I was like, there's something about her. She looks so interesting and so special. There's something about her. I gotta talk to her. And then we connected, and it was a blessing since. And you helped me with my image. You're such a wonderful person. I mean, beyond how smart and how fun it is to listen to you, you're just a lovely, giving person, and I really appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you too. When you reached out to me, as soon as we had the conversation, I knew that we were kindred spirits. And that's the wonderful thing about, when kindred spirits see each other, there's something that draws them. Being beautiful is fine exterior, but I deal in the spirit realm. I love to keep people close to me who are like-minded people. And you are like that. You're a very powerful woman and you do extremely well in life, but yet there's this humility about you that reaches out.
Thank you. I take it in. Why is image so important?
Image is important because it's the manifestation of what's inside of us. When someone meets you initially, the only thing they have to go on is appearance. Now, image is much more than appearance, but we should never discount appearance because, as I've said, when someone first meets us, they know little to nothing about us. The only thing that they have to go on is our appearance. And generally, our appearance reflects what we are feeling inside. If we feel good about ourselves, then that is manifested in our appearance. We're neat. Let's say if we wear bold colors, that says something about our personality, that we're not afraid of colors. We're not afraid to color life. So the external says so much about the internal. That's why I never discount appearance. Now, image is much more than that. It is your confidence. It's the way you speak. It is your brand, because we are our own brands. And so that's what I try to tell clients. Do the entire thing. We should be well-rounded people. We should never just focus on one aspect of image, because when you do that, there's imbalance there. And imbalance normally causes everything to tumble. So when we're working on image, work on your appearance, work on your confidence, work on your communication. And it doesn't have to be elaborate, it can be just basic communication, but we should work on all aspects of that so that we maintain a balance.
Absolutely. Have you seen somebody who is powerfully dressed but talks like this? Very shy.
Yes, yes, yes. Or if they're insecure, we can pick up on that. And then that may cause you to pause or to step away from the person. Because when we are confident, then people are attracted to that because they can count on you to deliver whatever they are expecting out of you.
Right. I feel inspired already.
Yes. Yes. So when you walk into a room and let's say you have on a powerful red dress, I know you like red dresses.
I do.
Well, that's to you. It speaks to power. But if it's a fierce dress, they start to get excited because they know that this woman loves herself. So she's probably going to entrust whatever I give to her with the same love and the same attention. So that's another one of the reasons why we should not discount appearance. It's everything. Like I said, it speaks to who you are inside. And that's what I try to convey. When I walk into a room, I'm there, without having to say a lot.
Absolutely.
And that's another powerful thing about image, that you can be so attractive in the way of intelligence and poise that you don't have to say much. People can tell a lot about you. But once they approach you, you should have good, positive, loving conversations so that they stay interested in you. Because if you're beautiful and you're poised, but you don't hold a good conversation or your conversation is negative, then people lose interest, because notwithstanding life's challenges, we all want to feel good, and so we should welcome people with positive conversation.
I'm thinking about, I feel like Madonna. Like I changed so many images throughout my life. I had short platinum hair. I had short red hair. I was into heavy metal and wore all black. I was a hippie for a part of my life. And then I lived in Japan and I really liked the Harajuku style. And actually, when I came to the US, I wanted to fit the box and dress like everybody else. And pretty much New York, most people, unless they're in the business world, dress down. So I kind of lost my flair and my color. And then I got more into connection to my femininity and I started embracing more color. And it shifts so much throughout the years.
Yeah. But you know what? I think that is absolutely wonderful because I've done the same thing. And that just means that we evolve with changes, because if you're inflexible, at some point you become disconnected. So the fact that you've been willing to do all of these changes, you've been exploring, you've been many things, and we are multidimensional. So I personally think that's absolutely wonderful. I've had blonde hair. I've had jet black hair. I've had very short hair. I've had long hair. Now, the one thing, I've always been a glamour girl, but I changed my look. I love to wear hats. I wear a lot hats. I have a collection of hats. So I think that's wonderful when a woman changes as she wants to, because that's a certain boldness, not always fitting into the box, but having your own style. Because when you are an entrepreneur, you need to do everything that will set you apart from your competitors or others in your same industry. So that's a wonderful thing. I think you should always find something that's a little bit different than everybody else, and so I just think that's wonderful when a woman is bold enough to change and to try different looks.
Right now, me personally, I'm going through that conflict of should I look more corporate or should I look more easy and flowy? And even today, like, I don't feel like I have this like one style. I have a few styles. And when it comes to present my brand, I'm still indecisive of exactly how to.
Well, this is what I think you should do. I think you should explore different looks. I go to my photographer maybe every 3 months, and I always take 2 to 3 outfits. And some are more casual, some are more provocative, and then there's some that are very business wise. So it depends on the event I'm going to. There have been some events, some upcoming events, and one in October, and it's called Emancipating Me, and it's more of a I would say conservative setting. So the photo that I sent the program host was me in a white suit. Now, if I'm going to something else that's a little bit more provocative or sexy, let's say, then that's the type photo that I use to present myself. So people do know that I am flexible and there's more than one dimension to me. I just say to stick with what's industry appropriate. If you're going to a business meeting, let's say with a corporation, and you want to coach their employees. Well, the first meeting, even if it's not a very formal suit, but just to be on the safe side, put on a suit. And then in the meeting, you'll get an idea as to what their culture is like. And then you have an idea of how to present yourself the next time. But I think you should be flexible and just present yourself in a way that people will see that you are multidimensional. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. So I don't think that you should be in conflict. What you should do is reach out to someone like me so that I can go and find photos and say, Orion, girl, you will look absolutely fierce in this. Let's try this. But when I saw your photographs, they were beautiful. And when I responded to you, you see how I actually could actually speak to what I thought was going on with you. And one was celebrating. One just looked like you were in your natural elements and that you were just flowing. Another was a great one for a headshot. So that's great. Always have alternatives. Just don't stick to one look. You'll be more interesting that way.
Well, that gives me freedom. That's great. Any tips on how to look younger and slimmer?
Okay, for younger, I would say I don't intentionally attempt to look younger. I attempt to look good. So you're age appropriate. I wouldn't wear some things that 20-year-olds wear, but I still keep it fresh. And so what I would say is to stick with your age, but look as good as you can. Now be daring, like the bodycon dresses. They're the really slim fitting dresses. I'm 58 years old. I wear them, but I'm selective about the type that I wear. Now I'll put on a black one because black makes everybody look more slender, So do a black. If you are a slightly heavy woman, do not be afraid to do A-line. Sometimes heavy women think they have to wear very wide clothing. You don't. All you're doing is looking wider. Try something A-line and put on a belt. Let's say if you have a sweater, put a belt, because a belt is going to pull the waist in some more, a little. So if you are a very thin woman, now they're wearing what they call the full circle skirts. So try that maybe with a cropped top. That will elongate you. And then, of course, put on some stilettos and give yourself some legs. You know that's really fierce. And be flexible with jeans. If you are a heavier woman, I would say stay with the darker wash, because the darker wash is slimming. Once again, when you have on jeans, throw on some stilettos. So let's say if you went to a meeting and it was for a health club, what I would do is put on some pencil legs, some dark jeans, wash jeans, put on a very bright color blazer and some stilettos. So then you are sort of casual, but you show up meaning business. So that's really great. And then at your feet, you're sexy. So you can accomplish all of that and still look professional.
How do you define a well-dressed woman?
A well-dressed woman is not gaudy. Never overdo it. A well-dressed woman knows what looks good on her, because every style is not meant for everybody. So just because it may be the rage right now, if it doesn't fit your body type, do not do it. The well-dressed woman always stick with the classics. If I have on something very trendy, I'll do something like put on pearls with that, because pearls are classic. Then that's a surprise. The well-dressed woman is not afraid to do something different. I collect hats. I still wear hats. And so that's a throwback from that age, the 1940s, Hollywood kind of thing. I still do gloves. And the well-dressed woman will do something different. She's not cookie cutter. She doesn't look like everybody else. The well-dressed woman, when she steps into a room, immediately people notice that there's something different about her.
Right. Can you give me examples beyond pearls of something that can make us look a little more unique or stand out?
Okay. Now, you have dark hair. If you were going to a cocktail party, for instance, I'm seeing you with your hair pulled back severe and have a shignog on it with a black dress, but then you would offset this with very red lips. And that will get you noticed, because the contrast with the black dress and the red lips, and pull the hair back severely because you want the lips to pop. You don't want that to get lost in your look. So red lips are very glamorous. Red lips, they pop out. Another thing that, let's say if you were going to have on a black suit, then do some, I would wear some animal print pumps, because then that's surprising. You know, that's sexy. That's contrary to the basic black suit. Don't be afraid to wear all white into something. Some people are afraid about that. You know, do all white with some big chunky silver jewelry. That's a really awesome contrast. First of all, you look angelic and you look sexy at the same time. Who could turn that down? I guarantee you they will look at you. So I'm strutting with heels. You know, now that I'm an older woman, I can't wear the heels like I used to. But let me tell you this, whenever I arrive, I always arrive in heels, 5-inch heels. You know,
Wow.
I'm not afraid. Don't be afraid to make your entrance. And see, that's where confidence comes in. When you walk in, know that you look good, you know, and act like you feel good and have great conversation and walk straight and tall. You know, people will notice that. It won't just be the beautiful clothes. It will be the spirit of you that's in that place, you know. And so, as I said, always do something surprising. Sometimes with a business suit, I will wear a huge flower pen. So my business suit may be pinstripe, which is sort of like masculine. But then I like do something unexpected, like wear this huge, huge flower. And I will have my hair is white. I will wear red lipstick because I know that it's a stark contrast and that it will draw attention to me. Don't be afraid to do the smoky eyes. That's alluring. That's alluring. So those are little things that basically say, I'm sensual, but then your suit says I'm serious. So there's nothing wrong. I don't think women should try to be one of the boys. Glory in your femininity. Be proud and, just awesome in your womanhood. There are people who refer to me as iconic. And I love that, that at this age, that younger women are still saying, well, she's an icon. And so an icon is like the ultimate representation of womanhood.
That's, again, super inspiring. And I feel like I have so much to learn from you. What are your influences? Which are like your models as far as beautiful, iconic women?
The first and foremost was my mother. She was a tall lady, and my mother, she wore hats and gloves and furs, and that's how I dress. I have this whole wardrobe. As a matter of fact, I'm the brand model for a company called Harriet Rosebud Hats of New York. And if you go to my Facebook page, you will see me in all of these wonderful hats. And when I was a little girl, that's what was my dream. I'm going to grow up and I'm going to wear hats and furs and stilettos, all of that great stuff. There's a woman, Iris Apfel. Iris is a New York socialite. She's in her 90s. So Google her. Oh my God, she wears the most bizarre clothing, but this woman in her 90s is still just so glamorous and she loves fashion. She's another one that I consider an icon. And then there's Iman, the model. I love Iman. I just think she's just so exotic. And then I'm inspired whenever I see a beautiful woman. She doesn't have to be a celebrity. When I see a beautiful woman on the street, I will let her know. I think that we should do that. We should inspire and encourage each other, motivate, let another woman know when she's beautiful. Nobody gets tired of hearing it, and she won't take it for granted, but she will be appreciative that someone notices her efforts in being a beautiful woman.
I feel like lately there are a lot of women movements on the rise and women supporting women, yet there is still this jealousy in some societies. The women's are not friends, they're not sisters. And when they see a woman that is dressed differently or looks better, they won't treat her as well.
And you're absolutely true about that. But you know what I've decided to do when I notice that? I keep a safe distance. If that's the attitude that they have, don't attempt to be close to them because you don't want any kind of negative energy close to you. So that type of woman, if there's jealousy, I don't care if she's wealthy or if she is beautiful. If she's jealous and they're not friendly, that still speaks, Orion, to some insecurity. There is some insecurity on that woman's part. It's not, the problem isn't with you. It's with the other woman. They may not admit it because confident women are not jealous of other women. We love to celebrate each other. We love to celebrate beauty. So when it's that type of energy, I just keep a safe distance. I may be friendly, but I don't attempt to be friends. Because first of all, I don't think that type of woman can be a true friend if she entertains that spirit of jealousy. There is a lot of that. You just can't pay it any attention or pay it little attention. And you have to keep on being the most beautiful, fierce, glamorous woman that you can be.
Yeah, and that goes to business as well.
Yes.
As you grow, like the bigger you are, the more bold, exotic, powerful you are, the more friends you're going to make, but also you're going to get some enemies.
Yes, you are. And that's why, besides being beautiful, you have to be smart. You have to be smart, and you have to have business savvy so that you do know how to handle that. Those things will happen. That's why I've never relied solely on my looks. I've been in corporate. I'm still in corporate besides my own small business. And in that environment, it's kill or be killed. So through the years, I've learned how to protect me professionally. And I've always, whatever I've been doing, I've honed my skills so that I could be among the best, if not the very best. So when I'm challenged or if someone has some hidden agenda, that I know how to handle myself in that type of situation. That's why, going back to image, it's not only about appearance, it's confidence, it's intelligence, it's all of those things that when you come into the presence of those types of people, that you know how to handle yourself. Because if you don't, they can undermine you and destroy you. If you don't know what's going on. So you have to be business savvy as well.
And that's true to many corporate women that I encounter, where they get into their very masculine facade and they lost their softness or their feminine core. And what I hear from them is, I'm competing in a men's world, and if I'll be all feminine, they're going to step all over me and I'm not going to be respected. So I have to be like a man.
And they don't, though. That's where see, this is my feeling. These are my feelings on that. If you act like one of the boys, they're going to treat you like one of the boys. And I don't want to be treated like one of the boys. Now, what I've always done was made sure that I developed myself, that I'm as good, if not better than them. So whenever it's sometimes now I negotiate real estate deals. So there are times when initially the tenant's attorney gets on the phone and he hears a female voice, because there are not a lot of women that do what I do. And of course, initially he will come off brash. But as soon as he realizes that I know this industry as well as anybody, I change the attitude of that man. Then he knows who he's dealing with, and that you cannot speak to me in a certain way because I know what I'm doing. And yet I'm still a woman, because I don't like, for instance, I worked with a gentleman, very nice gentleman. I've never heard this gentleman speak profanity until I heard him in a conversation with another woman. And the conversation in the office was, well, she's like them. She talks like that as well. But now that may be fine for her, but me, I'm still a woman and I don't want to hear that. So, and this gentleman has never spoken profanity in front of me. So that says that he is well aware of the woman he has to respect, and he cannot speak that type of language. And he's aware of the woman who will accept it. So I really think you can be strong. And that's what I've been my entire corporate life, without sacrificing my feminine side. I will not do it. I just love being a woman. So it's just the man who makes the mistake who thinks that he can take advantage of me. Because as soon as we start negotiating contracts or speaking, then he realizes that I'm a smart woman. And men, unless it's just a real jerk, they will be forced to respect you, because notwithstanding your beauty, they have to respect your intelligence as well.
You think that maybe actually because you're so empowered in your feminine, you have a competitive edge?
Yes. They don't know how to respond to it. You throw them off of their game. And that's what, and sometimes in business, that's what it's a basis, especially for what I do. It is what it is. Men respond to a certain way with beauty. And then when they find out she's brainy too, that's a double weapon. And then they, a little cautious. How do I deal with this? He's still being a man because he has a beautiful woman there, but then he has to control himself or learn how to still deal with her in a professional sense. And I'm not going to discount the intelligent man, because it's been my experience that those who really respect smart women, they'll get over the beauty part at some point. They will acknowledge it, but they won't let that be the distraction in dealing with you. And you can have both. You can have, some women don't feel that way. Now, it's my opinion, some of them don't feel that way because they don't feel that they are beautiful. And so they feel they have to rely on acting like the man, but you don't, because you don't want him to feel that he can speak to you like he would a man. You don't want that as a woman.
Let's talk about your success stories. Did you find that once you change someone's outer image, it changed the whole course of their life or changed their internal state completely?
When I work with someone, I actually talk to them about the inner person. And I will advise them that if the inner person is broken, what we do outside is going to have little to no effect. And so I can work, it depends on what I'm doing. If it's just dressing somebody up for an event and they wanted that, that's fine. But if we're doing consulting or image coaching, I have to be candid and let them know that we can work on the outside and we can make that very beautiful and fierce. But I do want you to understand, even if you don't work with me, you need to feel good about who you are inside. Else it's not going to. That's why you will have beautiful women, Orion, who are still jealous of other women and who will attack you because they didn't fix the inside.
Right. Do you have any tips to fixing the inside?
The inside is, first of all, learning to love you and knowing who you are. If there are problems from another relationship growing up, be honest about that. If there's a problem in a romantic relationship, be honest about that. If the other individual, if the man or woman made you feel inferior, you have to fix that. First of all, you have to, and that's why I always stick with the relationship coaching as well, because the other person who makes you feel inferior is doing so because he or she feels that way. And so in their attempts to feel whole, they wind up emotionally, verbally abusing the other person. So when you abuse, it's not you, it's the other person who is dealing with their insecurities, their brokenness, their toxic backgrounds. It's not you. And that's one of the things in the relationship coaching that I would work with a person. It's not you. Let's deal with you. You are already born with everything that you need. The Creator does not make mistakes. You are beautiful. You have to feel that. You have to know that. And when people attack you, because people who are confident in themselves, people who love themselves, do not attack others. If a person attacks you, those are their issues. It's not yours. You have to fight not to accept their issue and know that it's their issue, but don't you accept it. So that's what you do when you work. You love you. Every morning, get up, look in the mirror and say, I love you. In the morning, say, you are beautiful. Throughout your day, you are beautiful. I love you. Do things that someone else would do. Send yourself flowers. Treat yourself to a beautiful dress. Go someplace and get a massage. Love you. Self-love. Because we teach people how to treat us. If someone sees that you are a beautiful woman and that you take care of yourself, your body, and your weight and the way you dress and your makeup, you are telling them, this is what I do for me and this is what I expect from you, nothing less. You cannot bring anything to me less than what I'm doing for myself. And so when people walk around and see you looking beautiful and they're saying, oh, Orion, she is really successful. And so she won't accept anything less than that. Now, you will accept anything less than that if you are wealthy, but there's still an issue back there that you're still insecure, and the wealth is just hiding your insecurity. It's not just a manifestation of who you are and that you're this phenomenal woman inside, and then you just did phenomenal things. You made phenomenal decisions, and you were smart to do well financially. But because a predator, if you are insecure, a predator will pick up on that immediately and take advantage of it.
Absolutely. And I was there. And to get out of that situation, I had to do mirror work. I did mirror work every day. And the first time I did that, I looked in the mirror and I said, I love you. And my reflection started crying. I couldn't even say I love you to myself or look at myself in the eyes.
Oh, yeah.
But it's such a powerful process.
Right, right. And that's why it has to become a lifestyle, not when we just get in trouble, or sometimes repeat it, even if it's not allowed. So make that so that conversation resonates with you all the time, that I'm beautiful, I'm strong, I'm powerful, and I deserve the best. One of my favorite quotes, and it is my quote, when it comes to love, you deserve the very best. Accept nothing less than the real thing. When you deserve the best, you should have the best in life. You should have we were created to have a life of abundance, and we have to live like we were what we created to do.
That's so true. And I feel like so many people come to the decision where they gave up. They settled for less. Even if they're single, they're like, I'm good being single. And if they're in a relationship, it's good if it's mediocre.
And that's because that's being afraid to be alone. And I haven't gotten back to this because I've been away from the seminars for a while, but I want to do a seminar on alone versus lonely, because alone is not lonely. And people think it's one and the same and it's interchangeable. So they become frightened about being alone when so many wonderful things can happen in your alone state. And you can be in a relationship and be lonely because that person is not satisfying, not fulfilling you, not giving you anything. And you're made to feel as if you're alone. So alone is not lonely, but people think it's one and the same, and they panic. And to avoid being alone, they get into relationships and settle for it.
Absolutely. And beyond confidence and the internal game, can we change our external image to attract the right partner?
Yes. Yes, you can, because it says a lot about you. So if you're a very classy woman and you dress like that, you're going to attract a certain kind of person. A lot of times we don't think men pay attention to certain things, but they do. I was in a supermarket and I have these really large gold hoop earrings, and an elderly gentleman walked up to me to tell me how much he loved the earrings. And then he told me he was a jeweler. But I'm just saying those kind of things jump out. I have a gold bracelet that I wear sometimes. I don't put a bunch of gold bracelets on with this because it's so beautiful. Just subtle touches will tell the opposite sex, a lot about you. And so I would not think of an affluent guy would be attracted to a woman who dresses trashy, because if she's dressing trashy, she's saying some things about herself. And so he already knows she may be okay in the bedroom, but he can't take her to his events. He can't take her to business meetings because she won't represent him well. So the manner in which we dress says a lot about us, and it says a lot about the person who is going to be drawn to you. And so if you want a man who's in a certain financial status, that's how you have to carry yourself. And I'm not saying to overdo it, but you have to carry yourself in a way, and you have to learn what those type of people like. Where do those type of people go? Who are they around? And is what I'm presenting going to be something to be proud of? And so the way what we put on external will determine who is going to approach us. There are some people who don't approach me because they think I'm unapproachable, you know, and normally that's the type of man I wouldn't want to come near me anyway, you know. And so it does, the way that we carry ourselves do, all of the things we talked about, like standing out in a crowd and wearing something bold, those are the things that catches the eye of the others. And so what are you catching their eye with? Is it with a glamorous look? Is it with a classy look? Or is it with a trashy look? And then it depends on where you're going. What you wear in the club may not be what you wear at a Dave Van Hoos conference. What you wear there may not be what you wear at a black tie event. So it's just becoming knowledgeable about what works well in which situation.
And sometimes less is more.
Yes, sometimes less is more. If you have on a very good black dress, you don't need to do much else with that. As I said, you can a black dress and put on some animal print heels. Hey, you're going to get noticed. See, you're laughing because you can see that. You can see yourself in that.
I'm very visual. Yes, I can see everything that you talk about.
With some red lips. Yeah, yeah. With a black sheet, some animal print stilettos, and some red lips. You know, and then put on tiny pearls. You know, or just tiny or diamond studs. You don't have to overdo it. You know, you don't have to over embellish when it's very good. You know, that's why I say stick with the really good stuff. I love St. John. I have a St. John suit that's probably 25 years old. I still wear it. And whenever I come into the room, I get plenty of comments, you know, but that's St. John, that particular line, the colors are very they have their own sort of hue. You know, I do things like that, or just unexpected things like heavy wool. I have a powder pink heavy wool jacket. That's unexpected. People don't expect to see that in the winter, you know, but when I come into a room, they get that. So do things that are unexpected, that are fun. Keep it classy, even when you do a bit of trash. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, class with just a dash of trash.
Incredible. So we dressed the part. We got the guy. We're in a committed relationship. How do we dress behind closed doors? Do we need to let our guards down and just wear our old t-shirt and be completely cozy? Or do we have to keep a little bit of sexy in our own private home?
Find out what he likes. If he likes to see you in tattered jeans and then that's sexy to him, that's what you do. If he likes to see you in nothing, that's what you do.
Got it.
It's what, you know, it's about pleasing him as well as him pleasing you. But still, whatever you do, if it's your t-shirt and your jeans, still be beautiful. Still be beautiful, because whatever or however you got him is the same way what you're gonna have to do to keep him. It's not fair to do something, to go through a lot to attract someone, and then don't give him what the woman he became attracted to. That's not fair. You know, I don't want that. If a man I've been married 26 years, but if a man, whatever he attracted me with, that's what I expect. I mean, that's what we're doing to, and this, for lack of a better word, to lure them in. So you don't want them to feel entrapped. She lured me in with this beautiful woman. Now all I see is this ragamuffin around the home. That's not fair, you know. But some men love jeans. Some men love that clean, scrubbed look. Some men love that tassel look. If he loves you with tousled hair, tousle your hair, girl. no. But it's about pleasing. We come into these relationships with expectations, and they may be different, but what we all come into them with the expectation that we're going to feel good. So keep focused on making each other feel good, pleasing each other.
Mm-hmm. Can we talk about colors?
Yes.
We touched a little bit about it before. Can you tell us a little bit about the meanings behind colors?
Red is a powerful color. That's power. Everybody knows that. Blue has to do with uplifting the mood. And anything pastel will give you a sort of floaty spirit. You would think that black is dismal, but it depends on how you present it. I can't find anything exciting about brown. Can you?
No, I do not like brown. I never wear brown. You can't force me.
Yeah, rarely
Ever.
do I. And see, that's because of our personalities. Brown is drab. It's just drudgery. And so I can't find anything exciting about brown, but the pastel colors, they are calming. And so if you are, I can't say for men, but if you're a woman, I would think in your bedroom, a pastel paint on the walls would be calming. There are some flesh tones that are very calming. And so I think that we should surround ourselves with the colors that evoke certain moods. Like if blue lifts you, you should surround yourself with as much blue as you can. Maybe go to a park on a beautiful day and just lay back and take in the blue sky. If you can't go there, this organ of thought that we have, this brain, this imagination, close your eyes and call blue into you. Call blue into you. Close your eyes. Just shut out everything and just imagine a brilliant blue, the color of the sky. And so colors do, they evoke different emotions. Green is a powerful color. I don't know if that's because we associate green with money, but green is a power color. And so I think you should contrast a lot of times. If you have black, do that red thing, that red thing. Red gets it. And I don't wear a lot of red clothing because I don't necessarily like it for me. But I do wear some fierce red lipstick. I do. So that's my contribution to red. When I put on red lipstick, I don't need anything else red. Because it's front and center, and this is the other thing where we send central subtle messages on the lips. What's more central than red lips? And you get away with that in an office or anywhere. But as I said, do the colors that evoke positive feelings. The only color that I can't find much for, and that's brown. I just love colors. I just love colors.
What makes you happy?
When I'm at peace. Peace is a very precious commodity with me. And I'm fortunate because I can make myself happy in almost any situation. And that comes from self-love, learning to love myself and be happy with who I am. And because I'm a woman who has many interests. So there are lots and lots of things that bring me joy. And I always motivate people to do that. Because if you have one thing that brings you joy and something happens, then you are completely without joy. It is said that men mostly identify themselves with their careers. And that's one of the reasons why when there's a major career shift or they're coming upon retirement, that's why they struggle so much because they've made the job everything. That's their joy. But I would say to find joy in everything. I love fashion. I love to travel. I love to talk. I love fine dining. I love being with my girlfriends. I love traveling. I have a piano. I play a little bit. So I have found, and I keep adding joys to my life so that when something is off balance, and that this is life, we will have dark moments, I can turn to something else to bring me joy. So there are a whole lot of things that make me happy, and that's because I intentionally go out and find new joys.
What's your biggest dream?
My biggest dream is to be extremely wealthy. Now, let me explain that though. I already live very well, but I'm at a point where I see so much in the world that I want to do for others. And it would take wealth to do that. I live in Maryland, and we recently dealt with the riots of Baltimore. And I would love to do something for Baltimore. Now, I do have an annual gala called the Power of Love Gala, and I always give back to a nonprofit. In 2016, at that event, well, we're going to actually give a portion of the proceeds. There's another church, Southern Baptist Church, and they were building a senior building. And during the riots of Baltimore, it was burned down completely. Nothing left. So, and my parents were, when my parents passed away, they were seniors. So I have a soft place in my heart for seniors. And that's what I've decided, that initiative will be the recipient of a portion of the proceeds for the gala. So my life now at this point is just trying to do something to help others to live a life of abundance.
That's beautiful.
So for the rest of my life, I want to impact other lives in a positive way.
I love that. And I'm honored to be your friend.
Oh, I'm honored
cool
to have you. I just love this connection. I love this connection.
So who can work with you and where can they find you?
Well, visit me at www.pamreaves.com. Anyone who is interested in relationship coaching or image coaching, or if you just want to live your best life ever or live life as I do, and I live life from a position of power in every aspect of my life. So if that's how you want to live, you should coach with me. But visit me once again at www.pamreaves.com to find out what I'm up to.
Thank you so much, Pam, for this incredible sharing. And thank you, my listeners. So go ahead and live life from a place of power, from a position of power, and have a stellar life. I'll talk to you next time. Thank you for joining me on my mission to light people up and change lives around the world. I hope today's conversation inspires you to step up, go after the life of your dreams, and be who you want to be. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to go to stellarlifepodcast.com for show notes, transcripts, and other cool stuff. And please subscribe, review, and help spread the word by sharing us on Facebook and Twitter. Have a lovely day, and I'll catch you on the next episode.